Good morning. My name is Stuart. I'm the Associate Minister of Stony, Stratford Community Church. It's my pleasure to welcome you to another week of Church at Home. In a short while, we're going to hear from a few other people, some stories about what God has been up to in their lives and what God has been saying to them. Before that, it is Ascension Sunday today, the Sunday that we remember when Jesus went up to heaven after he'd been crucified, after he'd been raised from the dead. And before Louise comes to lead us in our worship together, have a look at this video.
Jesus' very last act on earth is also one of his most puzzling. He ascends into heaven to be seated at the right hand of the Father. On the surface, the ascension appears to show Christ leaving our world. But if we see the ascension resulting in less of Jesus' presence instead of more, then we are missing out on a powerful truth about the ascended Jesus. When Jesus encounters Mary Magdalene after his resurrection, she throws her arms around him. She had lost him once, and she would never lose him again. But Jesus says to her, "Don't hold on to me, Mary, for I have not yet ascended to the Father." One could assume that Jesus is saying this because his resurrected body is sacred, but later Jesus invites Thomas to touch his wounds, so that can't be the case. Jesus knew the fear that Mary felt, thinking she had lost him forever. So through his reply, Jesus is saying, if you let go, if you let me ascend, you'll have access to an even stronger relationship with me. Mary, the way I am right now, there's a chance you could lose me. But if I ascend to the Father, you will have me forever, and nothing will ever be able to take me away from you. His presence would come through the Holy Spirit, who is not merely a force, but a person who would come in his place. Jesus said, "Unless I go away, the advocate will not come. But if I go, I will send him to you." And one of the roles of the Holy Spirit is to reveal Christ to us. This is why Jesus said that through the Holy Spirit, he would finally show himself to his disciples. The implication is that the disciples did not and could not truly know Jesus until he went away bodily and returned through the Holy Spirit, which is encouraging for us to see, because you might be under the impression that if only you could have lived and walked with Jesus, that you would know him better than you do now. But you'd be wrong. Before Jesus died, the Holy Spirit had not been released into the world in this powerful way. And you can only know Jesus fully through the Spirit's influence, as he shows you in the shadow of the cross how high and long and wide and deep his love is for us. In other words, through the Holy Spirit, you can see Christ and know his presence and his love better than the apostles on the night of the Lord's Supper. So the inevitable question is, are you living like this is true? Are you living like Christ is more accessible now than he was when he walked the earth? Jesus has made his intentions clear. He left heaven and all of his glory for your sake. And through his ascension, he has made himself infinitely available to you. Christ has drawn near to you. So draw near to him.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be together again, and just want to read some verses from Psalm 145 as we bring our worship to God this morning. I will exalt you, my God the King. I will praise your name forever and ever. Every day I will praise you and extol your name forever and ever. Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise. His greatness no one can fathom. One generation commends your works to another. They tell of your mighty acts. They speak of the glorious splendor of your majesty, and I will meditate on your wonderful works. They tell of the power of your awesome works, and I will proclaim your great deeds. They celebrate your abundant goodness and joyfully sing of your righteousness. The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and rich in love. The Lord is good to all. He has compassion on all he has made.
it's good to have some different faces so you don't only need to look at mine. So thank you to Louise and to Ethan for leading us in worship, and for those of you who've let us have stories today as well. So we've got stories from Ian and from Elizabeth, from Zara and from Kenny to look forward to. Please do let us have stories that we can share in this way. Please send your stories to us. Be brave, record them, let us have them. But for now, sit back, have a listen, and be encouraged.
Those of you who know me know that I enjoy a curry, and I meet fairly regularly with a group of Christian friends from all across Milton Keynes and a few that don't share our faith. We often go to the Rose of India in Bletchley, great restaurant run by some Bangladeshi Muslims who are lovely guys, and we get on well with them. Can't do that at the moment, obviously, and so one of our members decided that it would be a good idea to see whether the Rose would accept a donation from us in lieu of our going in for our curry, and offer that to key workers who rang up. The guys at the Rose thought that was fantastic. They'd already wanted to help key workers, so they're offering a discount to them when they ring up anyway. And now we've put, I don't know, £200 or £300 so far behind the bar, and that money's being offered as a £20 off of the key workers' curry delivery that they're ordering. And when asked why, the guys at the Rose are able to say that this is a donation, a gift from some Christian guys from across Milton Keynes who want to bless them and share a bit of light and say thank you for what they're doing at this difficult time.
Good morning. So right at the start of the lockdown, I was really aware that there were a lot of people who would need help, and it was quite difficult to know how to get involved, knowing that we weren't really supposed to be leaving our homes, and we needed to stay safe with our families. And I was chatting to Tash one day, and she was telling me that the service that she works for were struggling to get enough people to help deliver their food parcels. So I thought, well, I've got time, I've got this gift of time on my hands, and I could definitely get involved. And so I went to the office the following week and was given a number of homes to visit with some boxes of food. And I just really wasn't expecting to be blessed the way that I have been through the whole experience. And I just wanted to encourage all of you really to, if you can, get involved in a community project that really needs help at the moment. There are plenty of organisations out there that really need support. And there's one story I want to share with you about a lady who I've been visiting now each week, and she's so lovely, and every time I give her a box of food she wants to give me something in return. And she has been such a blessing. And last week she remembered that I was a school teacher, and she said, I've been going through all my things and I'm a bit of a hoarder, but I've collected together some hand cream because I think as a teacher you're probably washing your hands a lot. And I said, yes, we were washing our hands a lot when we were in school with the key worker children. And she said to have this box, and I want you to give it out to as many of your colleagues as you can. And we were getting all the classrooms set up ready for when the children return on Monday. And I went round all the classrooms in the school and all the toilets, and I put a little tub of cream next to all of the sinks, and she'd given me just enough to provide for all the teachers in the school and all the children. So it was such a blessing, and she really wanted to bless me for helping her, and that's how it works. It just has this ripple effect. And I just really encourage you to step out, and even though we are in sort of uncertain times, there are opportunities out there for us as a church to show God's love, and that's what we're called to do. And so I just encourage you this morning to maybe look into an opportunity or find out about an opportunity where you could get involved too.
Hi, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Zara, and I wanted to share a testimony about what's been going on during lockdown for me. So I'm part of the Thursday group, and we've been encouraged to pray for 5 people intentionally so that we can see God move in their lives. At the beginning of lockdown, Rich and I were praying about what we can do for those people to show them that we care and to help them get through lockdown. And one of the things that God planted in our minds was to make a care package for them and to sort of bless them in that way of giving them some sweets and chocolate and fizzy drinks. The best way of blessing someone. So we delivered those on Sunday, and I happened to drop by at the time my friend was coming home from a run, so we bumped into each other, not literally, social distancingly, and we had a conversation, and she sort of said, you know, why have you done this, what's this for? And I was able to share that it was because I was praying for her and God had asked me to do that for her. And she sort of got really emotional, shared that this couldn't have come at a better time, and she was just so amazed that I was there on that day at that time and it's exactly what she needed. And then she started to share more things that she'd really like prayer for. So it was a real breakthrough for that relationship, especially because this is someone who has probably only stepped into church at my wedding and at Kobe's dedication. That's her relationship with church. She doesn't like it, she'll go if she has to. And so it was really nice to have that conversation with her, and I look forward to seeing where it goes.
Hi church family, it's Kenny. I hope you're all coping amidst this strange time of coronavirus. I miss you all lots, and I really hope and pray I'll see you soon, and we'll all see each other soon. I miss you all very, very much. Stuart has asked me to do a little testimony for Sunday, so here we are. I'm going to try not to bore you, and I'm hoping it'll be fairly relevant. So here goes. As you know, because I keep going on about it, I bang on about it all the time, and I'm sorry for that, but I work at the prison, and I love working at the prison. I consider myself very blessed to work at the prison, but I work with a lot of ragamuffins, a lot of scallywags at the prison, and I love that, and you really, really enjoy that. But it kind of ties in with what I want to talk about, because I've been reading my Old Testament. I've been sitting out in the sunshine at work, and I've been listening to my Bible, reading my Bible, and I've gone from reading 1st and 2nd Samuel, and I'm now going into reading 1st Kings and 2nd Kings. And obviously it goes from talking about David, well, Saul and David, to Solomon. And it's wonderful, it's brilliant. I love the Old Testament, challenging as it is, but it's brilliant. But I've been struck about how sad it is. Some of the stories and some of the things that happen to these kings, these men who are trying to follow after God, they continually get it wrong. They continually blow it, and they continually make mistakes. And it's sad. It's really, really sad that these guys get it wrong. And it made me think about a lot of the guys I work with in the jail. A lot of these guys who are scallywags, like these men of the Old Testament, scallywags, scoundrels, who constantly get it wrong, and yet who God constantly pursues, and God constantly loves and disciplines them. And one of the guys I work with, one of the prisoners I work with, who had some really great chats with last week about faith and God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit and the Bible, decided he was going to try to steal a radio last week from one of my fellow staff members, and he got caught and he got sacked from his job in the prison, which was quite a good job for a lot of the prisoners. And he was sacked, and I thought that Dickie, this lad that was caught, this prisoner that was caught, he's just a lovable scoundrel. He's a lovable ragamuffin. It's not good what he did. It's cost him his job, and that's very sad, and there's no excuse for stealing. But I was thinking about him, and I was thinking about David and Saul and Solomon, some of these guys, and even Samson that I was reading about, the mistakes that these guys made, some of them were terrible, were terribly tragic, and some of them were less so. But just like this prisoner Dicky at work, it cost him, and it's easy to talk about following God or following Jesus. It's easy to say that prayer of salvation sometimes, but actually, in reality, being a disciple of Jesus and following Jesus, it's really difficult, it's really challenging. But I, like these prisoners I work with, and hopefully like some of these men and characters in the Old Testament, men and women, I'm a scoundrel, I'm a scallywag, I'm a ragamuffin. I don't want to sin, I don't want to get it wrong, but praise God, we've got Jesus, I've got Jesus, and you are a scallywag, because I'm a scallywag, I'm a ragamuffin, we're all ragamuffins I think, but we've got Jesus amid this time of coronavirus and this chaos. We have a hope, we have a living hope, who's alive, who's not dead, he's alive, he's here. And I just want to challenge you, and challenge myself, and encourage you as I encourage myself, to keep going, to keep following this faith, this man, this living faith that we have in Jesus. I miss you all guys, and I really hope to see you soon. We're all ragamuffins, we're all scoundrels, but we're loved very, very much by Jesus, and I love you all, and I hope to see you soon. God bless, good night, bye bye, love you all.
Thanks, Kenny, and I hope that the bedbugs don't bite. I love the way that the surprise theme comes through in our story today, of unexpected blessings given and received. But we shouldn't really be surprised when our faith is in a living God, is in the living, risen Jesus. And he is at work in us, even though we are ragamuffins. In my daily devotional this morning, I was reading, and there was a challenging question, quite a simple question, but still quite deep as well. And it said this: what is the effect that Christianity is intended to have upon a person who becomes a Christian, on someone who seeks to live as a Christian? Our stories today are reflections of the fact that our relationship with Jesus does, or at least should, have an impact on us, and it should have an impact on those around us too. And often that is in very simple ways, but it still has an effect. If, like our video said earlier, the ascension of Jesus made it possible for Jesus to be infinitely available to us, then surely the possibilities really, truly are endless. We're going to sing together once more now, picking up on some of these themes about who God is and what it means to follow him, of seeing him at work in our lives and seeing him at work in the world too. Let's sing together now.
Where you go, show me.
assuming that it is working this week, we're going to continue our morning by meeting together on Zoom. Now, you're very welcome to join us for it. And if you have a story to share, a testimony of your own, then you are very welcome to come on there and to share among us as well. We would love to hear what God has been doing in your life. The info for how to access that meeting will be appearing very shortly. And remember, please do connect with us. If you go on our church website, there's a form on the main page that you can fill out to stay connected with us. And if you are already connected in that way, do read the weekly emails that come out that give updates on all sorts of things and some important things too. All that remains is just to say thank you for watching and be blessed.